And go. Okay. The Grand Adventure. We can't skip this yet, but now we can. And then we need to go to Kiri right away. And here we go. So a lot of the early Kiri levels are basically just going to be running and jumping. We don't have any of the cool powers and stuff yet, so a lot of this is just kind of minimizing risk by killing enemies, making sure we don't accidentally die when we don't need to. This is decent. It could have been a little cleaner, I suppose. The next level is we have to go through a couple cutscenes here. When the game teaches us how Kiri works, and she's the best, so we get access to all the cool abilities right off the bat. And this is also why like Kiri just generally doesn't get a whole lot of power-ups. She basically has a flipper suit and that's all. So now we're gonna fight a mushroom. This is a pretty straightforward fight. You don't really have to do too much. I'm sliding to get out of the way just to give myself a lot of extra time, but I'm pretty sure you can do basically whatever you need to do. And then if you ever... End of sentence. The next level is there's going to be two platforms. Or two paths. There's going to be a high path and a low path, and we want to try to go on the high path if we can. I know that technically sliding will give you a little bit of extra speed, but figuring out where to slide has been problematic so far, because sometimes you just you end up sliding like directly into an enemy and then you get owned, and that's not good. Okay, so this is going to be our first cave. The music's great, and we're going to try to do something neat here and wall jump off of these ledges to get up a little fast. We got most of them. We'll take that. I think you could also probably just hug a bug there and be fine. But the cool stuff is cool to do. Oh, that's unfortunate. I bonked the ceiling. So we don't actually want to be in a cloud right now because the door is right there. Normally you could go down there and get a power up, but we don't need them. So we're just going to run to the end. That's 1-2. So 1-3 is a ghost house. There's some more cool wall kicks in this stage, but a lot of this is going to just be the same kind of stuff that we've seen already. Running and jumping. The run really starts in World 3 after you've gotten a couple of powers. So you can wall jump with this, which is pretty neat. And I messed up that little jump there, so we're just gonna... Oh, no. You can wall jump with this. You can slash while you're holding stuff with Kiri. Oh, please. That bonk was really tragic. This is a really, really unfortunate room. Oh, man. But yeah, you can basically do all of the neat Kiri stuff while carrying this, which means that as long as you're not goofing it up like I am, it actually saves you a bunch of time. So this, I think, can be a real quick house. And in this area, we're Kiri, so we don't have to do any of the jumping because the wall is there. This room just has some tight movement in it. And then we have our hidden door. Everybody's favorite. And that's it. That's the whole level. So we lost a bunch of time there. That was pretty unfortunate, but that just means we can clean it up on the next run, because that's how splits are. So next is 1-4. We're basically going to abuse a death here and fly up and right. because we don't want to worry about jumping through all of that. That's too much work. And then down here, this is like an auto-timed jumping section. You can just always bonk on the ceiling with P speed and you'll always make it through. And we get a little wall kick there to maintain our speed as we go up. Once we get up here though, we want to drop it because that'll happen. And you don't want to bounce yourself back down if you can avoid it. And I believe the rest of this is just running for a little bit at least. And then in here, as soon as we hit the checkpoint, we're going to toss ourselves onto some spikes so that we can fly north. I think there's actually a way to get through here that's pretty quick. I think you can technically like hug the first bug there and then get all the way up here, same kind of way, but it would skip that run to the right, and that might be faster, but we'll find out later. And this is just a nice little run to the finish. We don't have to worry about too much here. Another nice little, definitely platforming as intended section there. So I think ultimately when we start to do like the really in-depth Kiri runs, we're gonna try to attack enemies as, oh, that's unfortunate, as infrequently as possible, because it does seem like there's a little bit of screen lag. Nice. So even though it's a good like safety thing to just kind of keep running, it's probably worth it to watch how many enemies you kill, just in case. But for these runs, since we're just kind of going with it, we're just going with it. This is an intentional death. We would have to run all the way to the right there, and that's like a whole thing. This is not an intentional death. The monkeys are my worst enemy. But then we're at the end, so if that went a little bit better, I guess we could probably stay on the cloud to get over that monkey. That might be a little better. And now we're going on to 1-5, which is the last world in this, or the last stage in this world. And in here, we get to use some pretty cool tech, which is you can slide underwater, and it makes you go really, really, really fast. We learned about this pretty early on and used it through our casual run quite a bit. But later on, once we get side slash, we're basically going to be using the two in tandem quite a lot. So you can see how like we're just coasting. You just have to make sure you take out the fish that are directly in your way, but it makes this entire level is a breeze as a result. Nice. And that's world 1 done, but I don't know where we're going to split. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to click the portal, and then that's when we're going to do it. All right. So world 1 is done. Sub 10. We take that. Now we're going on to world 2. The very first thing we're going to do is avoid talking to this cat when he tells us about our tail and stuff, because he's a weirdo. And then we're just going to go to 1. So this is just holding right. We don't have to do anything super special here. Oops. My sword came out a little too early. There's a bunch of Tanuki coming up, and instead of dealing with them or jumping into their attacks like that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a death on this fine fellow here, this lady, and we just don't want to deal with them. So there you go. Easy peasy. Don't even have to worry about it. So we can probably make that one go a little bit faster. 2-2 is the first level that has like a platform that you need to follow. It's also our first well. And as you might imagine, waiting for platforms is pretty slow. So we're just not going to do it. If we can avoid it, we're going to just go for it. So this is one of those levels where like it's going to be really important for us to mitigate the amount of enemies on screen. Death boosting in here might be faster in general. Not sure. Yeah, so that's the platform we're supposed to take normally, but you can totally just not, and it doesn't matter. And same thing in here. We do actually need it here unless we want to use an item. We technically have an onigiri that we could use. And if we did, we can use it at the end there real quick by opening the menu and then jump down onto the spikes and run across. 2-3 is another level that has split paths. So this one is you're either going to go through the water or you're going to go above. And what we want to do is stay on land for as long as we can and then get bonked by this fish, because that means we can fly up on this cloud and we don't have to go through the bottom section down there at all, which is quite nice. It was an unfortunate wall jump. And then in here, we're going to do our favorite thing. We're going to fall down to the bottom and we're going to slide underwater. And then here we just need to dodge our friendly Kappa. And that's the level. It's nice and easy. 2-4 is the ghost house in this level. This is one. Oh, I didn't get my slash out quite fast enough. You can skip that first slammer cycle there. Oh, I was aiming the wrong way. This is rough. You can skip the first slammer cycle there if you slide immediately. We are going to take the onigiri here because there's a really annoying ghost, this fellow, that makes this room really obnoxious. However, as long as we have the onigiri, we don't have to like play any games. We can just take the hit and go right through. And then in this room, this is a room that we are just going to choose to perish a lot in. There's a lot of timed platforms that go back and forth, as you can see here. And so why do that when we could instead just avoid them all and just go north? So this is, I don't know if this is actually how this is going to be done once speedruns are a little more developed for this game, but it does pretty good work for right now. Oh yeah, so I guess again, this is all just stuff that I've found, so I have no idea how much of this is optimal or whatever. We're just trying stuff and seeing what sticks. But yeah, we get our first mini boss. So you'll probably remember this mini boss just stabs 3 times. Nothing special. We want to try to avoid dying on the mini bosses as much as possible because they're not super tough to beat, but that, you know, dying makes you fall off the screen and then you have to come back with the cloud, and that's like a whole thing. So instead of playing around with it and trying to slash or whatever, we're just going to jump on them. Okay, and now we have our first Aaron fight. This is where we get side slash, and so this Aaron is relatively straightforward because the only attack that she has other than bow is side slash. I was a little too antsy there, but you can kind of make the AI do whatever you'd like in these fights based on your distance from Aaron and your chosen movements. So later on, when Aaron has more moves, you'll see that we sometimes jump to avoid things or otherwise do more. So this is one of the best things that we can get for this run. It lets us go very, very fast to the right and also lets us more or less... Oh, I died. it lets us more or less ignore a lot of things. So we're going to try to do the cool thing here. Oh, just barely didn't get it. So we're going to have to go the normal way. Well, I guess we're going to take the damage boost way. But you can totally wall jump off of those and then bounce off that fella's head. And it ends up being really, really neat. We want to die somewhere around here. I didn't mean to die on that guy, but we did. So, yeah, we'll just take a death. This monkey gauntlet is really brutal. They're all throwing projectiles at very rude angles, and we just don't have to care about it. Now that we have the side slash as well, we can kind of avoid a lot of potential death situations, because if we jump in the wrong direction or we end up in a strange place for whatever reason, we can just reposition ourselves and be correct, which is a very, very powerful tool in a game about platforming. So what we just did there was you get a Taiyaki power up pretty early on, and our primary use for it, since it gives you a cloud, is to just skip any really, really rough climbing sections. So in that section, we can go into the menu and pop it real quick, take a quick hit, get a cloud that lasts longer than a death cloud, and it takes shorter, or it takes less time to actually get turned on than a death cloud would, which basically just means that we can, you know, words and such, because it lets us skip a lot of that upward climb. We just don't have to worry about the Tengu very much, which is a very welcome change, because those guys will wreck your day. This is a very vertical level again. You will generally be climbing up this wall. We have wall jump, so we can skip a decent bit of it. But once we hit, you know, if you take a hit in this stage, it's not the end of the world, because you can literally just then ride all the way up on the cloud. So this is an intentional one, because the mushrooms, as fun as they are a little bit slow. And that's the stage done. So yeah, as soon as you hit the checkpoint there, you want to pop up, grab the thing, and call it a day. Now we're gonna go to 2-7. Oops. And this is some tricky jumps in the beginning, but this is a stage that we more or less figured out how we wanted to run when we were playing casually. Ooh, that was unfortunate. I just barely missed my, I just was, it was slightly too slow on the dash. Okay, so that's a perfect example of how side slash can save you. Oops. One of the keys to playing Kiri levels well is making sure that you touch the ground when you want to, because that's going to mean that you reset your abilities as you're expecting to, and not at some other time. We got pretty decent RNG from these dogs this time. They run to different zones in the beginning, and so depending on where they go to start out, you might lose a little bit of time while they're just kind of animating. This is the Earth Guardian. He's a bro. He's not super difficult with Kiri. You dodge the first hit, and then every attack he does after that is slow enough that you can kill him with side slashes. That's world 2. So sub 20 there. And that was with a really rough ghost house. So now we're in the world 3. This is the water stage. So this stage in particular is the level that the shark suit gets introduced in, but Kiri does not have a shark suit. We do want to go up here. I guess that was a little too early. These are the ones we want to make sure we go up on. This is another split path. You can either go north or south. If you go to the south, you go into water, but it's a lot of up and down swimming. Whereas if you go north here, you can just do water sliding to get all the way through, and that's the level. So really, really good 3-1. No complaints there. The cat that we get immediately after this is a Monty Hall cat. So if we wanted to get a cloud, we totally could. It's not super high on the priority list right now. The only real clouds that I've routed currently are the ones that you get from dying. Since using a cloud would require opening the menu, I don't know if it's technically faster or anything like that. But yeah, so this is 3-2. 3-2 is just a run and jump level. It's a lot of fun. If you don't get touched by crabs, you can do the whole thing without losing speed. And that's the whole stage. It's a pretty cool one. 3-3 is next. This is our first like fully underwater stage. So this can get a little dicey. But this is also where we would technically see the snorkel from Kiri the first time. Now, as you can probably see, we're going extremely fast without the snorkel. So we don't really need it as long as there's not obstacles in the way. Once we get to later levels that have eels and stuff in them, that's when we're going to start wanting to think about maybe picking up a snorkel. Because those become extremely irritating very quickly. But water movement with this character is really, really neat. And for this fella, we're going to come down here and do everybody's favorite thing. So a lot of the speed you can get with Kiri is specifically like... Ooh, unfortunate. But we made it through, so we're going to at least be able to just finish the stage here. A lot of the speed you get from Kiri is from properly placing side slashes and occasionally slides. Sliding is really only important underwater from what I've found. But yeah. Speaking of... Okay, we got to take these guys out first. And then our next little task is going to be a ghost house. So it's a good thing we got flippers, because we want them for this level a whole lot. We don't need to use them just yet. There's some at the top there. Oh, I died. So yeah, something else that we discovered during the casual playthrough is if you are holding run and you have the lantern, you can slide tackle, or you can do the Mega Man slide. And it carries it with you. It like counts as kicking it a little bit, I guess. It's pretty neat. It's a really cool little visual effect and stuff like that. So this is just really tight movement. I'm going to be a little careful around these skeletons because they can be rude. And that's that done. Ooh, unfortunate. Okay, so we are going to have to use our flippers here. But we got the backup from fighting the dog boys, so we're good now. Now this whole section is we have to go all the way down to the bottom. Ooh, that's unfortunate. We have to go all the way down to the bottom here. And then, yeah, that's a bummer. We're just going to take the cloud at this point. Go all the way down to the bottom. And then once we've made it all the way to the bottom, we need to grab a... grab a lantern and then swim all the way back up. So generally... you want to try to route this so that you have, a decent path through. Take out fish on the way down and stuff like that. Once you have the lantern, the ghosts are not a concern, so you can just go back up. And then optimal movement in here would be try to avoid bonking on the ceiling and try to avoid fish if you can. You can still side slash and everything like that, so... You have at least one of those. You have a couple more if you decide that you're going to deal with some fish on the way. That was a little close. I probably should have thrown it or put it down the other direction because I almost threw it back in the water. But then this is mini boss. This is the first mini boss with the slam attack, I believe. So they're gonna make life very easy for us and give us effectively a free hit here because we're Kiri. And then more of the same stuff. Yeah, so these guys are pretty straightforward. You don't really have to worry about too much. And we get a little extra health for that. So now we have to do the next Aaron fight. And this is the Aaron that has the other half of the movement tech that we want, which is that up slash. So up slash is really, really good. Oh, I just stood in an arrow. That's unfortunate. But in this fight, she uses the up slash pretty liberally. As long as you are a little bit in the air, she does it, which means if you do a really low to the ground jump slash, she will always do it and you'll miss. You'll pass like ships in the night and then it doesn't matter. And now we have up slash. So now we have the true wonderful combos. Oops. That wasn't intentional, actually. This was a level that I was considering saving fins for, because as you can probably tell, there's a lot of stuff that I would like to be a little more precise to avoid, but we don't have fins currently. Oh, really? It touched my fluffy tail. So what we're instead going to do... Oh, wow. I just drifted all the way over there. We're just going to take this however we can at this point. Oh, I don't know how I didn't get hit by that Fugu. But you know, no complaints. And then underwater, you can enter doors no matter where you are on them. So it doesn't matter where you reach the door, you'll always be able to go through it. The second cat here that we have access to is a cards cat, so we can ignore it. Although, if you're doing a casual playthrough and you're going for the get all the cards reward, knowing that that's there is probably a positive. I know that while I was kind of taking notes and routing this out, I was also hunting for the card cat achievement, so I understand. That was a really clean level. Okay, so this is a stage that is mostly vertical, and you have access to quite a lot of really neat movement tech. Since Kiri refreshes all of her... Oop, I died. She refreshes all of her abilities whenever she kills an enemy in the air. So you can use your side slash and your vertical slash, and you get a second jump, and you also get an additional air dash and all kinds of fun stuff. So generally speaking, when you see a vertical level, there's going to be a death boost or two. In that case, I just did it bad and got killed, but okay. So in this, we're going to damage boost up through here to grab these fins, because fins are very good in a level with moving eels. Yes, if you thought eels were bad when they were standing still, and I certainly do, they're really bad when they move. So now this is something that I wanted to try. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but we're going to give it a shot. You always have this here, and you don't really use it for anything else. So hell yeah, we have a new strategy. Yeah, cool. We just developed new tech. Maybe if you run over water. The running over water is shark suit only. That's not something that you can do normally. And now we have to fight Heracross. He's really easy with Kiri. Cool, good fight. And that's World 3 done. So now we're going to Ice World. So 4-1 here is pretty straightforward, as most of the initial levels in stages are. There's going to be a lot of running and jumping. I know, surprise. Nothing too crazy as far as I remember. Uh-oh. Okay, well, we had a second jump there. Ah, yes. We do want to take a hit here, I think, because flying over this or jumping over it is probably the way to go. But yeah, that's the stage. Nice and done. The cat after this is a cards cat, so we're just not going to do anything with it. And then in 4-2, there's actually like a really cool intro strat to kind of give us a little bit of height and speed right away. Oh, almost. Hell yeah. So yeah, I was playing around with wall kicks because I think they're really neat. And that was one of the things that I found. Oh no! Alright, well, we lost some bugs, so we're gonna have to get a little creative with our routing here. Can we go up this way? No, okay. Alright, we saved it. Because you can change direction when you're doing the air slashes and stuff, it lets you be really particular about where you want to be. Oh man, we're so close to greatness on this each time. You know, I really wasn't trying to dodge that bug, but we did, so we'll take it, I guess. Okay, that was a little sloppy, but we got through it. Yeah, so I think there's going to be, for levels like that, like 4-2 specifically, there's going to be really, really precise presses to like get good patterns and stuff. This level, there's not too much to talk about. It's an auto-scroller. We accidentally clipped into the floor when we were doing our normal playthrough by sliding into a corridor that hadn't yet opened. But I haven't yet been able to weaponize that. I mean, utilize that in an actual run. So I don't know if it's actually useful or if it's just like a fun little thing that we discovered while we were doing the more casual stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward level. It's just a lot of basic movement. You don't really have to do too much. And then we get to the end. So like, yep, we did it. 4-3. Well done. Okay, so the next ghost house is the ghost house that has invisible platforms on it. So this is one that gives people a lot of trouble. I know it gave me a little bit of trouble on our initial playthrough. But with Kiri, anything is possible. So yeah, really not too much to write home about here. We're kind of just doing the same stuff that we would otherwise do, except for that's not what we want to do. We're just gonna you know, come down here and do this again real quick. We could go further north there, but above us is nothing but coins, so we're not worried about it. Gives you a headache looking at it? Yeah, I feel that. Oops. This is the one that jumps first. The other one does stabbies first, so I was expecting it, but yeah, it's another mini boss. You know, it's Mario Brothers mini boss. It do have a gimmick. The gimmick is relatively straightforward. Don't have to worry about it. Okay, so now we're going to now we're fighting Aaron. So this Aaron has the dive kick. So what we want to do is we want to side slash over her, and then we can kind of mash a little bit. Oops. I thought I'd live there. I guess we could just stay in the corner for that. Man. Oh, I gotta work on my timing on this one. So you can do a side slash and then just mash your attack button, and because of where the attack hits, she'll bump into it and get owned. So now we have the dive kick, which we don't use too much, but it is extremely good for water levels because it lets you move faster than swimming. Yay. So we do actually want to take a death there because it makes it faster to get up to these flippers. And as we've already seen, the flippers are extremely good as long as I don't lose them for no reason. So now we're going to try to not lose them for no reason. And now we are going to lose them on purpose. Take a little boosty here and go right up through the eel. And we're done. I probably didn't need to bounce myself there, but the rest of this level is really straightforward. It's just some running and jumping, you know, what you'd be used to. I don't think you need to take any death boosts or anything up here. But at the end of the day, you know, if it ends up being faster to do it, then we're probably doing it. Pretty good 4-5. Pretty good 4-5. The next cat that we get is a wheel, which is just a colossal waste of time, so we're definitely ignoring that. And for those fellas, I have found that if you try to jump and hit them and you miss, they just fall on your head and bonk you, and it's over. So now we're going to 4-6. We're going to use a shinobi suit here, because what this does is it prevents us from taking damage from this ghost. And it gives us a lot of space to just kind of chill. And since the ghost is all the way back by the other wall, that means we can kind of just go through this level without really caring too much. You realistically can also probably just use a couple of death boosts and stuff to get through here. But since it's an auto scroller, it's kind of like just do whatever. I also think it's neat to show off the shinobi outfit because I don't really think you use it for much. That's its only real effect, is that it gives you access to, you just kind of don't have to worry about ghosts for a little bit. And that's why we picked up the onigiri there, because sometimes the fella is a little antsy. But we can't speed up that level at all. And then he's a bro, so you'll have to see it. And that's 4-6. So then we're doing 4-7. This is the level that you normally do with the fox power. I don't know if that's faster than doing it the cool achievement way, but I like doing it the cool achievement way. Well, we messed it up, so we're just gonna take a cloud now. The achievement route for this is really neat because it lets you use a lot of the Kiri powers to the best of their ability. You chain things a lot. You have to reset quite a bit. Not like reset your runs or anything, but reset your skills by killing enemies and jumping and all that good stuff. So this may be a level that just requires more tech, depending. But this was a really cool one to route initially when we went and did all of that stuff. That's true. I haven't done it in a while though, as is apparent there. Okay, so this bunny has a very funny. Oh, we messed it up. There's an extremely goofy strat for this rabbit in particular that allows you to just 3-cycle her without taking a death. Uh-oh. Please die. Yeah, okay. Still a relatively easy boss fight with Kiri. We just don't have to worry about the plants at all. It doesn't really matter. And that's World 4. So now we're going to World 5. World 5 is pretty cool. We're going to take this up a ways. We're grabbing that because we have to jump on it anyway. And there's a section up here where we have to go up. And as we all know, to go up, we must get bonked. But in this situation, we can go straight up. There's not a lot to stop us from doing this. I think I messed this up. So what we're gonna do is actually land first. You need both your up slash and your side slash here to do this little bit. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of a different level actually. Well, we just lost a little bit of time for no reason. That's okay. These are splits 1. Oops. We ran out of stuff right at the end there. I needed to hit one of those extra bugs, but that's okay. So a pretty decent 5-1. 5-2 is another one of those levels where the start is like totally choreographed, so you can kind of do it the same way every time. And then you just go. So yeah, that level's pretty sweet. I like it quite a bit. That was also an extremely good run, so we take those. This is another Monty Hall, so if we need a cloud, we can take that. This is an incredibly long auto-scroller level. I do not know what the fastest way to get through this level is, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the very first kunai, and we're just gonna go. We're just gonna take clouds as far as we can. Every time we can death boost, we're gonna do it, and we're just gonna go up and right. So a weird thing happens in this stage. If you're very, very high up and you fall all the way to your death for some reason, you kind of like snap back up occasionally. All right, we refilled our stuff there. We took a death so we can keep going. So normally what we would be doing in this stage is there's a platform that's coming with us generally. And the way that platform works is you have to jump off of it and then either clear a Tengu or... okay. You either need to clear a Tengu or otherwise jump off of said Tengu to get through the next part. Oh, the platform. The platform got me. Okay, that's what I meant. It like springs you all the way up. I don't know what causes that, but I like it. It's very funny. So I think you can actually do this a lot cleaner because of the way that these Kitsune are, or these Tanuki are. You can do stuff like that, right? So you can kind of get from A to B without perishing, and that might be faster. Oh, I missed it. So what I was doing in practice was trying to... we went a little high there. What I was trying to do in practice was to land so that you would always land on the... you'd always land on top of that middle shuriken from the Tanuki there. And then you would just be able to boost from that point. But we got launched into the sky, so it's good. Okay, so this is the Medal of Honor Ghost House, which with Kiri is extremely easy and straightforward. You can just kind of... I perished there, but we literally... It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want in this level. Kiri says the rules are mine, actually. I didn't jump, so that's on me. So I guess one thing you can't do is not jump. I lied to you slightly. And then this is another stage where like what we want to do is die really high up so that we can just go. Because this is another vertical section, and as you might imagine, vertical sections with these blocks are extremely irritating. That's really unfortunate. I didn't have any skills there. All right, well, we go again. Please, yes, okay. All right, so the idea here would be you go up and land on one of these things instead of whatever it was I did. So that room, I think, can be really, really straightforward. And then, yeah, this is standard mini-boss stuff. Standard fare. With side slash, we don't actually care about there being holes in the floor because it makes you go straight in a certain direction for a little bit. That got a little dicey. Nice and easy. All right. 5-5 is next. Oh, no. Aaron is next. Okay, so this is where we get the spirit slash. Okay, we got dive kicked, but it's no biggie. Oh, unfortunate. She did what I did, but she's better at it than me. Okay, cool. It was a pretty decent fight, all things considered. Now we do 5-5. And the way that this ability works is when you have full... Oh, I lied again. We're not doing 5-5 yet. Bro, really? This dude, trick shot master. That was crazy, actually. So the 5-5 is the first level that we have this ability in. So what we want to do is we want to try to build it up in the beginning here. Oh, unfortunate. We might be able to still do this. Oh, no. I thought I was going to hit the side there. Normally what you would do in that section, if you don't mess it up horribly like someone. We're actually just going to start the room over. What you want to do there is if you can arrange your jumps really nicely here, you can shoot straight through. And I think there's probably an angle that you can take that makes that extremely consistent basically all the time. Oh, assuming you can do that, it means that you would basically be able to clear the first part of the level pretty easily, because you just run through the first part, dash over, maybe death boost there. I don't really know what's going to be the fastest thing to do there. But then we go to 5-6. This is a water stage. So we're going to kind of just try to ignore as much about this as we can. As is tradition with water levels. So you can see we're trying to use some dive kick movement here to just like go a little bit faster. Unfortunately, the vertical slash doesn't give you any speed. It just kills things above you, but it is occasionally useful, as you just saw. Oh, unfortunate. I forgot that is that one goes in a circle, not in a little wave. But that's it. That's the level. So we can get through that pretty quick. The next cat is a wheel, so we're ignoring it. And then we have to climb a tower. So I think this is the first tower. Oh, please, Kiri, go right. Yes. This is the first tower in the game. So this is going to be a lot of up slashing. And I think there's going to, you know, similarly to a couple of other stages that we've seen so far, I think there's going to be like an optimal, you always do it this way kind of thing that becomes a consistent pattern. But we can do this, which both looks cool and feels fantastic when you get it right. Now we got our little checkpoint. I really like that our foxling is so powerful. It doesn't have any power-ups, but fucking look at it go, man. All right, and that's the stage. And now we get to do my favorite thing in the game, which is my skip. I found out how to kill this boss without even thinking about it. And you literally just run to the right and then do an up slash. All right, cool. Boss fight over. Hell yeah. That's called bow skip. I didn't name it that. Somebody else did. And that's World 5 done. So now we're going to go to World 6. And World 6 is pretty straightforward. There's lava, as you might have noticed. And we don't have a like dragonfish power up like Yuzu normally would in this stage. So everything that we do is going to be using Kiri's normal powers. And things like Spirit Slash. And then as soon as we have access to this, we get in it and hold up and right. And this is the rest of the level. I'm not joking. These last significantly longer than the clouds that you get from dying. So you can go extremely high. And yeah, it just lets you skip the level. 6-2 is the quintessential like poison swamp water level. That sentence worked in my head. It's the level that's based on the water level rising. And so what we're going to do is our best, because there's a very specific cycle here. And I have not yet been able to get through it fast enough to see if you can get under this last wall. I do know that you cannot go over this last wall, though. I tried that a few times in my actual playthrough, or my casual playthrough, I should say. You cannot do it. So I think you just have to wait at the end there, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. You might be able to death boost and it might be faster. I don't know. So now we're going to do 6-3. This is a platform level where you're supposed to like trigger a platform and then wait for it and all that good stuff. But we're Kiri, so that doesn't matter to us. And you've probably heard me say that many times, and I wouldn't be saying it if it wasn't true. We just don't care. So yeah, water movement, I think, is like, with Kiri, so cool. I don't know if I would say it's really cool with Yuzu, but it's kind of like traditional platformer water movement with Yuzu. And with Kiri, you're kind of like playing your own wacky game. Yeah, so that's that level all done. 6-3. Now we're doing 6-4, which is the lava ghost house. This one, oh, I guess we have to fight the dogs first. These dogs stink, so we're just gonna deal with them. Cool. Now we're doing the ghost house. As far as I remember, this is just a hold right level. There's not too much going on here. Oh no. I tried to I realized too late that I needed to up slash there. But yep, that's the level. And then it's a mini boss. Pretty standard at this point. We've seen it 5 times already. It has the abilities that the other one has, except there's a Bakeneko in the corner. And we don't want that, so goodbye. And now the fight is easy. Now the fight is the way that the fights are, you know, in the other mini bosses. So that's another mini boss down. Now we're going to 6-5. Oh no, we have to fight Aaron first. So this is the ultimate Aaron fight. She's got everything. So we're going to try to get a couple of cheeky hits. We missed the second one. That first one is basically guaranteed. She'll always try to jump at you. Nice. Really, really good fight. Okay, now we're doing... we're skipping this cat, which would be cards. So note that down. And then this is 6-5. It's another level where we're going to do a little bit of platforming early, and then we're going to jump in a Bakaneko cloud and not care about how the level goes from there. So as soon as we hit the checkpoint, you're going to see us find a place where we can more or less safely commandeer a cloud. And then that's going to be the whole stage. All right. That was really clean. So yeah, there's only a couple levels like this in the game. They're both in, I mean, they have to both be in the lava world because that's where the Bakanekos are. But like, you really just don't have to play the game for these stages. And it's pretty quick. Now, do I know if it's faster? No, couldn't tell you that. But it is pretty fast. Okay, so now we're going to 6-6. This is a tower climb with the lava. We're just gonna start this over. Actually, I missed a wall jump there. And you really want to have P speed for this early section because you'll recall that we have access to this ability, which rules, and also makes this much easier as far as the actual platforming aspect of it goes. Oh, I didn't have an up jump there. Unfortunate. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that I think is going to be really, really well optimized when we get there. But that's 6-6. So 6-7 is the well, and this is the one that we broke. I don't think I got it. No, we're gonna have to just do this the normal way for a little bit. So in this stage, if you're not doing the jumps like this, there is a way that you can fall straight down onto a piece of scenery and then proceed through the stage normally. Well, that's unfortunate, but I guess it's okay. You can kind of just go through the stage normally, which on Kiri is extremely good because, as you might imagine, where is my platform? All right, well, I guess we damage boosted now. With Kiri, having access to Kiri abilities is extremely good. So this has been a little rough so far, but it's nothing that we can't fix later on. Oh, we almost made that. We were just shy. Hello? Can I not? Okay. That's kind of nice that the game wants to let that work for you. But that kind of gave me a little bit of business there. All right, that's 6-7. Now we're going to do the Fire Guardian, which is another very straightforward fight, if you want to call it that. The gimmick here is that you don't fight him, you fight an army. And so we are just going to be acquiring P speed and jumping a lot. It might actually be better to not do that, but that looks really cool. All right. So after this cutscene, we have to fight a mushroom. So that's world 6 done. So we cleared 6 worlds in less than an hour. We're not going to get the sub-hour total, but this is a pretty straightforward fight. We don't have to worry about too many things. Jump on, bounce off of that, and then run away. Let Kiri kill some guys, because that's what she does. Those rocks are random as far as I can tell, so you kind of just have to roll with it. Yuzu gets 3 hits, and then after Yuzu gets 3 hits, Kiri needs to get 3 hits. And then after Yuzu jumps on the mushroom's head the final time, we will call time. So, bam! Oh no! Okay, cool. So now we get to do the fun half of this fight, which is extremely funny. Oh, we messed up. We missed it barely. So yeah, when you're doing side slash, you're more or less invincible, it seems. So as long as there's an enemy that you can refresh it on and keep pressing it. Oh, I just ran into a rock there. You can kind of do that strategy over and over and over again and be fine. He just takes 3 hits and then he goes down. And then there's a little cutscene that we can't skip. And then Yuzu does need to jump on his head, and then we get to call the big T word. Everybody's happy. Everybody learned about themselves, and time. All right, 102 for our first run.
This is
GG.